Morning, welcome to Asher and Torah Time. We're up to Perek Yudalad. B'shnas Shtayim LeYoyosh ben Yoachaz ben Yisrael. 2 years into the reign of Yoyosh ben Yoachaz. Malach Amatyahu ben Yoyosh Melech Yehuda. So now we're transferring over to the other side, to Amatyahu, the son of Yoyosh. So if you remember that Yoyosh was this child king. In the beginning he was a Gewalt king. In the end he fell through in a shtickle self-idolatry where he promoted himself, or at least he believed that he was something. And at the end he got killed. He gave away everything away to the king of Aram in order that Aram shouldn't take over. And in the end he was killed by his own servants. So now his son Amatyahu takes over, the king of Yehuda. Ben Estem v'chamesh shana hoya, 25. He was 25 years. B'molchoi, ve'estem v'teisha shana malchi b'Yerushalayim, 29 years. He ruled over Jerusalem. V'shem imo Yoyadon min Yerushalayim. Vayas hayosha bein Hashem. So Amatyahu is also doing just like his father Yoyosh in his early years. He's following the paths of his father. But not like his grandfather David, which did it out of love of Hashem. He did it the way his father did it. It was more like a system. Whatever Yoyoda HaKohen used to tell him to do, hat gefolgt. Also, so he was basically mitzvah sanashim ulamado. He was a system yid. We're gonna find a system yid that getidl was milgatzatin, but without inner meaning. Rak habamois. But then again, he also left over something that he didn't do, which was the bamois lo yisaru. He didn't take it away. Oid ha'amazabchem u'makating babamois. The people were still sacrificing on these bamois, which was also because as long that you have a Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to use bamos. Well, the kingdom got established. Now Amatyahu had old business to clean up. It was old business. He went to take revenge, and he killed Yoizeved ben Shimas v'Yoizavad ben Shomar. Shemer Hamakim es Yamelech Aviv, the one who killed him. So now it's time to clean up and get rid of the people who murdered his father. V'ez b'nei Hamakim lo yehemes. But the children of the Shlegers, the children of the murderers, he didn't kill. Now I found this very interesting that it actually quotes here. Kakasav b'sefer Torah's Moshe. The Navi is actually bringing down a pasuk. Kakasav b'sefer Torah's Moshe asher tziva Hashem leimor lo yumsu avos albanim uvanim lo yumsu alavos ki im ish b'cheto yumas. Very interesting. That the reason why he didn't kill the children is because they have getting wrong. Why should they have to suffer for what their parents did? It's very interesting. It's just the way it says in Chazal, Amar Reb Levi, Shloisha dvarim asa Moshe v'hiskim HaKadosh Baruch Hu al yado. 3 things Moshe Rabbeinu did, and Hashem was masking. Ve'elu hem ksiv poiked ovo in ovos albanim, u'Moshe amar lo yimsu ovos albanim. U'hinayim shehiskim HaKadosh Baruch Hu al yado. I just found it also interesting that it quotes a pasuk. I know we ever had it before. We ever had before that in the Navi it should quote a pasuk in the Torah. On the other hand, it's also something you have to ponder, that in all of Nach you see that it is Yom Subanim Alavos. Throughout all the stories, you're seeing that Achav's kids, Yoram was getting punished for Achav. So when do you say that it's Lo Yom Subanim Alavos, and when is it? You also see that there's Schesuvos in big time where people are kings, even though they're wicked kings, they still remain being a king because there's payoff for grandparents. This itself is all the stories that we just had, and Yehu had 4 generations, even though his kids weren't good. So how does this work? What? How does this work? When do we say Yum Subanam Anovus? When do we say yes? When do we say no?
He as a human can't go and tell the kids Shefer at Cheshbonis for 3 generations for bad and thousands for good and all that.
Kakasa b'Sefer Torah Moshe. I just want to read a little more from this from Chazal. Kakasa b'Sefer Torah Moshe v'kosher echachamenu zechanenu v'rocha amru the pasuk loy poiked avo in avo is albanim ama Moshe ribono shel olam. Kama reshoyim hoilidu tzadikim yu noitlois noitlem avoynes aviyam terach oivet zilamem v'avram benoit tzadik v'chein Chizkiyahu tzadik v'achaz ave v'rasha v'chein Yoshia tzadik v'amen ave v'rasha v'chein no shiu tzadikim loikim b'avoyn aviyam v'chein no shiu tzadikim loikim b'avoyn aviyam Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu hu limadatani chayecha shani mevatel devarai mekayim devarecha שנאמר לא יומסו אבויס לבנים ובנים לא יומסו על אבויס חייך שניקויז von לשמחו שנאמר כתוב בספר תורת משה. So in the Rabbah it talks about a conversation that was going on with Hashem, where Hashem Kaviyachal agreed that the old system that Yomsu that Poiked Avoin Avos Albanim is going to be abolished. And he agreed with Moshe Rabbeinu that Lo Yomsu Banim Alavos, that it's not fair. But on the other hand, you see all the time throughout Nacht that it does work that way. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know yet. One day it's going to come down, answering this question. Anyway, he doesn't kill the children. Who? So now Amatzio, and it says in Chazal also that he got schar for this, that's why he won the battle, because Hashem was maskim kaviyachol that he didn't take revenge on the children of his enemies. Who hiko es Edom v'gei melach aseres alafim v'tofas es asera b'mochama. So Amatzio knocks down Edom, kills 10,000 of them. He brings them on top of a cellar, which is like this huge cliff of sorts, b'mochama, and you know what he did with the extra 10,000 that stayed alive? 10,000 he kills, the other 10,000 he brings on top of a cliff, and he, open up your hearts my friends, throws them off the cliff. Vayikra Shema Yikosel. And he calls this Mitzuda, or this high mountain, this high cliff, Yikosel. Now the reason why Yikosel means like he blunted his teeth. The reason why he did this was also a strategic battle strategy, which was to instill. Now, Edom for years and years were abusing the Jewish people, and it was only the first time that actually the Jews were able to get back the upper hand, and he wanted to instill fear in them that they should never mess with him again. So he moved them off a cliff. But again, it seems in Chazal that it wasn't like the best thing he did, that he killed them so cruelly. It's like God says that if I gave you the power to kill him by the sword, doesn't mean that you have the power to go take him on and throw him off mountains. Which is strange. Like on the one hand, he's having compassion on his enemies' children, right? But on his enemies on his enemies from Edom, and he captures them, he walks them off a cliff, what's it called, a gangplank? Walks them off a plank. Anyway, while Amatzio was fighting with Edom, who he could shon? Oh, Sholach Amatzio Malachim. Okay, now here there was another story that Chazal said that when he went to fight with Edom, really he hired 100,000 mercenaries from Malchei Yisrael. So he went to Malchei Yisrael, and he paid everybody money in order for him to go. And I think it was Yoina Navi came to him and told him that he shouldn't, and told him that he shouldn't take with him the soldiers from Malcha Yisrael to come fight with him. He said Hashem doesn't need some soldiers. These soldiers aren't erlich, they're not connected. So he said, but I paid already 100,000 shamdim, kicker kesef, dinner kesef. And the Navi just told him that he shouldn't do it, and he listened. And he left them with the money, and he went to battle without them. And he won. The problem was that they were very insulted that they didn't take them along to battle. So they went, 3,000 of them from these Malchei Yisrael, and so they came inside, and they killed, then from the Bnei Yisrael came in, and they killed 3,000 people. So now Amatzia was upset. And why are you messing with my people? So he sends a message to Yoash ben Yoyachos ben Yehu Melech Yisrael Leimer L'chon Yisrael, come fight, let's go fight, let's meet upon him. L'chon Yisrael upon him, let's go have this out face to face. So Yoash Melech Yisrael sends him back a message, and he tells him a very interesting parable, which this seems was an old ancient parable back in those times, and it goes like this: the thistle, which is like a thorn, which was Balvanon, sent to the cedar tree which was in Balvanon. So a cedar tree is this huge, humongous high tree, and a thistle is a tiny little brush. So the thistle, which is a tiny bush, sends a message to the tree, Leimoid, to know as bitchol of nili isha. Give your daughter for my son, lamazach mishadach zan. Which means that he was trying to tell him, even if you would contact me and you would say, hey, I want to be mishadach with you, I wouldn't do it with you because I'm Malchei Yisrael, I'm 10 tribes. You're Malchei Yehuda, you're 2 little tribes. I wouldn't even make peace with you. I wouldn't even be mishadach with you. The original place of this mashal came from Shechem, who Chamor ben Shechem ben Shechem. Shechem sent a message, Yaakov Choshke B'ni, that he wants to marry your daughter. And then the idea was that the thistle, which means Shechem, is coming to the Edez, he's coming to Yaakov Avinu and he wants to be mishadach with him. And the end was that Kaviyachol, he took away Dinah, right? He was quote unquote mishadach. And the end was that Shimon Levi came and destroyed them. So basically, what Yoash was telling Amatzia was that, like, why are you messing with me? It's not going to end up good. And the animals which were in Levanon just walked out and they trampled the choyach and Sagunish geblieben von dir. Hake kiso es Edom, and it's because you won Edom in a battle, you became so hoary and such a big shot. Go home. Let's not go to battle. Let's not go to war. Why should you start fighting with me? Why would you want to fall in battle to me? So really, if you think about it, he was being kind to him. Yoash ben Yoyachos ben Yehu, Yoash is being very fair to him. He's telling him, look, I'm much stronger than you. So yeah, a few of my guys we killed, yeah? Wrong, no question about it, but you want to now face off and make an official battle, and I'm going to end up capturing you, and I'm going to end up winning. Why would you want to do that? But you know, whenever the ego gets involved, rationale goes out the window. Amatzio didn't listen to Melech Yisrael, and he went out to battle. Vayal Yoash Melech Yisrael, he had no choice. Huva Amatziyahu Melech Yehuda v'Beit Shemesh Asher Yehuda, so they face off. Vayinogev Yehuda lefnei Yisrael, and they fell before Yisrael. Vayanusu Ishlaholav, and everybody ran away. So basically, Yoash was right. Vesamatziyahu Melech Yehuda ben Yoash ben Achazyahu Tofas Yoash Melech Yisrael b'Beit Shemesh. So Amatziyahu was captured by Yoash. Vayova Yerushalayim, he came to Yerushalayim. Vayifroit b'choimas Yerushalayim. He broke open the walls of Yerushalayim, which was common practice that when a king wanted to show his strength, it's Melech Poretz Geder. The king would break down a wall and walk through because he was mighty and he was strong. B'Shar Ephraim, and he marched him through Shar Ephraim at Shar Apino, until the cornerstone. And Ad B'Meis Amo, they broke open the wall 400 Amos, because any king that wins a battle doesn't go through the regular shad, he just goes through wherever he's coming back in order to show to spread his might and his glory. And it was also a sign of notifying everybody that we have a major powerful king. You have to understand also, it's also very symbolic that when you walk back into your city and you broke down your own wall, means that you're not afraid, that you don't have a security issue, that you're so powerful as the love the teen nothing.
He break his own wall.
I'm sorry, correct. He was poiret going into Yerushalayim. Correct. Melech Poretz Geder. He was breaking into Yerushalayim. V'lokach es kol hazov ha'kesef. So what happened now? Now it's payback. For selling off. You remember back that Yoash, Melech Yehuda, Amatziyahu's father, not Amatziyahu's father, Yoachaz's father, right? Whose father? No, Amatziyahu's father. Amatziyahu's father Yoash sold off or gave away the treasures from the Beis Hamikdash in order to get Melech Haram off his back. Now comes payback. V'lokach es kol hazov ha'kesef es kol ha'kelim tzim v'beis Hashem b'oitzis beis hamelech v'bnei ha'taruvos v'yosef shem roino v'yesed divrei Yoash asher osok v'rotev asher nilchem Amatziyahu Melech Yehuda hadem ksuv ma'aseh v'divrei Yom l'malchei Yisrael v'yishkov Yoash im avoisov v'yikove b'shemrim l'malchei Yisrael v'yimlech Yerav b'nois tachtov. So now, then Yeravam takes over. Now, Amatziyahu, even though he was captured by Yoash Melech Yisrael, he didn't kill him. He put him gestalt a plot. He warned him beforehand, don't fight with me. He captured him. He went into Yerushalayim. Like you said, he broke down the wall. And he took the treasures of the Beis Hamikdash. Then he returned back home and he let Amatziyahu go. Vaychi Amatziyahu ben Yoash Melech Yehuda achrei Moshe Yoash ben Yochaz Melech Yisrael 15 years. But these 15 years, it seems like he ran away. He was like a king, and he was like I don't know what you call it, but he lost his entire power, and he basically was he was in exile, a self-imposed exile, because he was afraid to face the people. He caused this whole battle. He caused the whole war. He caused the whole Yerushalayim to get ransacked. He was Peter, right? Theoretically, he should have been killed, but he wasn't. All of Kesher. So when the people heard what happened, they made a rebellion against him, Yerushalayim.
What's the solution, Yikshiru of Kesher?
Yikshiru of Kesher, we had it a few times already, that it's a rebellion. She also yelled Kesher, Atalyahu yelled Kesher, and everybody, whenever there was a rebellion, they yelled that there's a Kesher against them. Vayonas Lechisha. So he ran to Lachish, to a city, and he had there like a castle, and he stayed there those 15 years because he was scared of his own shadow, And at the end of the story, Vayishluchu Achrav Lachisha, Vayimasu Sham, they killed him there. So he ended up getting killed the same way his father. He's basically a repeat of his father's life. His father starts off good, ends up going south, and then ends up getting killed. He does the exact same thing, and he ended up getting killed, and he ended up getting also killed by his servants. Vayisu also al Asusam, so they brought him with the horses. Vayikave b'Yerushalayim v'Vayisa b'David. Vayikhu kol am Yehuda as Azariah. So now that he died, they took his son, Azariah. Azariah is going to be later Uziyahu. Somehow he has like two names, or there's a name change in the middle. Vayikhu kol am Yehuda as Azariah. V'hu ben sheishes neshama, 16 years old. V'yemlichu oisoi tachas hamatzyahu. So they anointed him, or they crowned him to be king instead of his father Amatzyahu. Hu bano es Elas v'yishiveh Yehuda. He built up Elas, and he returned it to Yehuda. After his father was passed away, and he was laid to rest with his fathers, with his avos. So now we're 15 years into the reign of Matzyahu ben Yoash from Malchi Yehuda. Malach Yeravam ben Yoash Melech Yisrael. Now we're going back to Yeravam the second. There's Yeravam the first and Yeravam the second. Where was his Malchus b'Shomron? How long did it last? Arboim v'achas shana, 41 years. So the Yeravam the second has a 41-year reign. Vayas Ada ben Hashem, and Yeravam the second does evil in the eyes of Hashem. He keeps up the system, the religion. Yeah, it was a namesake, and it's not only that it was named after someone, but it's also, it seems like Yeravam had a very big place of respect by the people. If they're naming Yeravam the second after Yeravam the first, that means that there's obviously he's a prominent king here. I think it's very powerful, this message that goes in, that it's very hard to break a system. You see that when Yeravam ben Nevat made a system, everybody's following. But the scary part is that the fact that it's a system, it's still asara b'einei Hashem. A person can come and say, "What do you mean? I was following the system." System says that now we do Iglei Zav, which is not real avodah zarah. It's only with an intention for it. But I don't know. Throughout all of the Melachim, they're being demanded and commanded and saying, hey, and nobody could say system. What's that, man? What's that, man, with the system?
System.
System. Ja. Probieren zu fighten gegen the system. Das muss sagen, tell me how it works out. Who Heshev as Gevul Yisrael. So what did Yeravam the second accomplish? He brought back the boundaries to the Jewish people. Milvoy Chamos ad Yom HaArava. From Milvoy Chamos till the Dead Sea, till the Yam HaMelech. Kidvar Hashem. Kidvar Hashem Elokei Yisrael asher diber b'yad Avdo Yoina ben Amita Hanovi asher migas ha'chefet, that he told Yehu that you're going to have 4 generations, and Yeravam was the 3rd generation. And so here's a very interesting story. Even though he was Yasser ben Hashem, it seems like this time Hashem goes over to the other side and he says, "Lass mich probieren mit Gittens. Ich sehe es mit Schlechtens, ich sehe es mit Patchgeitens nicht. Lass mich probieren mit Gittens." Hashem saw the.
This is the only other Nebuah that you're going to die.
He said the Yeshua that Hashem gave them is not because they returned to Tshuva. It was because Hashem is on Yisrael. He saw the affliction of the Jewish people. Moira, Ma'od. He saw how much they're suffering, and he saw how constrained they are. Ve'efes also. and he saw that that they don't have, there's nothing, they have no treasures left. Ve'efes azov, they don't have any livestock left. Ve'ein oizid liYisrael, and there's nobody to help the Jewish people. He saw that they're desolate, that they're alone, they're abandoned. V'lo diber Hashem limchois Hashem Yisrael mitachas hashamayim. And Hashem didn't want the people to get eradicated, the Jewish people to get eradicated from the face of the earth. Therefore, even though they weren't worthy, and even though there was no merit, v'yashiyam b'yad Yeravam ben Yoash. He gave salvation for 41 years. And they had a good period, a 41-year good period, just because Hashem says, Shelo yimocha Shemaim Yisrael.
It's interesting. You see the beginning of the Payik, that's the king of Yehuda.
Right.
Muy good, so the Asa Yushabayna Hashem.
Right.
Rakloike Duvet.
Right, but he did.
And he did the moment, and that's why he became a kretz.
Right.
Du hast eine, was Rabbi Hashem, und eine 40 Jahre.
L'chaim. V'yaseh divrei Yeravam v'chol asher oso ugvudosa asher nilchom v'asher heishav es Damesek v'es Chamos liYehuda b'Yisrael aleim ksuv masev divrei Yom lemalchei Yisrael v'yishkav Yeravam v'avoyso v'malchei Yisrael v'yimlo Zechariah b'noi tachtov, and Zechariah takes over. But yeah, it's like you said, you never know. L'chaim.
Tzadikim, they don't share.